This is Ultimate Soccer with Soccer Steve.
That really does make a statement, guys. That really does make a statement. That really does make a statement, that last picture, hey? Get you thinking. Get you thinking. Once you get through this, you're going to be well informed about our coach and England's coach. It's just to give you an idea of how great our coach is. That's the main theme. But let's talk about Johnny Herdman. Let's go right from the start. And this is one of the older national team shirts, another supplied shirt by Umbro. Hope they come back one day. Hope they take the national team shirt again, because the quality, even this badge is quality, is better than Nike's badge quality. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's get to Johnny Herdman. Johnny Herdman is the man, Superman with the plan. He got us to Qatar. We're going to Qatar. If you want to hear the World Cup song, down below. Guys, I need your help. Push it around. We need your help urgently to push this song right around Canada and get it to every Canada fan in the country. Now, Johnny Herdman, when he took the job in 2018 from the men's team, he was 43. 43. That's kind of a young age for a national coach, but he didn't start there, yeah? But he was 43 when he took over the men. Now, let's look at Johnny's file. He started at Sunderland AFC in England, and he was in the development phase for Sunderland's youth academy, and that was until 2001. He did a fine job. And then he moved to New Zealand. And it was eventually as an director advisory role with the New Zealand women's setup. Firstly with the U20 squad, and he took them to the U20 World Cup in 2006. So, hey, first success was with New Zealand women's team. Then he took on the New Zealand women's national team, and he took those guys, or the girls I should say, to the FIFA Women's World Cups in 2007, 2011, as well as the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing. So in a short time, he had a lot of success with the women's U20s and the women's national team for New Zealand. In 2011, to my surprise, I was absolutely shocked. I'm like, New Zealand, what are you giving up? What are you giving up? Was it the money? Was it the job? Was it the future? Or was it the absolute challenge that Johnny Herdman would have taking on the women's national team? Now, remember, the women's national team for Canada has always been in and around the top 5, top 10. Not a problem. We've always been up there. We've done a fantastic job with the women's team. And let's face it, that's where we belong with the women. We've been there so long, it's our place. With the men, it's been a different situation. But with the women, he takes over in 2011, automatically gets more success by winning the gold medal at the Pan American Games in 2011. And that was in Mexico. So this guy seems to go from strength to strength, success to success. And there's no black eyes, and there's not even a smirch on anything he does, or anything around this guy, or his team, his staff, his players. It's all perfectamente. It's perfect. It's lovely. It's great. It's too good to be true at times, but it is this good. Johnny Herdman is this good. So anyway, after Mexico and the Pan Am Games, the CONCACAF Olympic qualifying tournament in Vancouver, he wins 2 spots for the Summer Olympics, and that was in London. And that's where we took a bronze at the Olympics, and it wasn't the only bronze. Canada had a bronze and another in 2016's Olympic Games, and that was in Rio de Janeiro. So more success from Johnny Herdman. Absolute success. You've got to say, in 2018, 4 years ago, he takes over the men's team. Now, remember when he takes over the men's team, everybody was thinking, well, you can't go from the men's team to the women's team. I mean, that just doesn't work out. Nobody does that. Canada does. And boy, it was a risk. But it was a risk worth taking, because when you saw the track record of what he'd done with the youth teams, with U20 teams New Zealand, full national team women New Zealand, full national team women Canada, you can't just not look at that and think that that's going to continue or that's going to fail. It's obviously going to continue. The guy's got a track record. He's amazing with what he does, and it's all about man management and the technical side. He's got that down. That's what we've never had, and that's what Canada has in buckets right now, in buckets. Now, 2018, he took over on January 8th, 2018, and in 2021, he guided the team to FIFA's top ranking team, from 72nd in the world to 40th in the world, to earn the team the national honour of the most improved side of the year, according to FIFA. Now, when you go from 72 to 40 in the world, in the rankings, that's making a statement. We've made a statement, but we keep making statements with Johnny Herdman, and it doesn't stop. You got to say on March the 22nd, he led the team to a successful FIFA 2022 World Cup qualification. Much to everybody's surprise, everybody expected Mexico, USA, maybe Honduras to be above us. They finished last, but they expected us to fail. And we ran out winners. 14 games in, only 2 losses. Wow. Wow. Amazing. And that's what we're at. So you got to say, other things are great about Johnny Herdman. Let's look at the other thing. First manager / coach, technical director, call him what you will. First manager to lead the national team of Canada to a World Cup for 36 years. 36 years people have tried it and failed miserably. He did it on the first attempt. That's got to be registered. First attempt, he gets us there. Not only does he take the men to a World Cup, but he's also successfully led the women's national team to World Cups too. I don't know too many guys on the world stage that can do that. And Johnny Herdman's done it. And he looks good doing it every time. Always comes out smiling, always comes out barking on the sideline. That fire, that passion. And that will get your team working. It's the man management, it's the chemistry, and it's the attention to detail with each individual player, not just right under his nose when he's got them, but all around the year, and he's looking for more. He is the number one coach we've ever had. We may have had guys take us to a World Cup before, but this guy is the best ever. Gotta say, first time in 36 years. Now, here's the thing. England has great players, but no great coach in their system. And he doesn't have a winning mentality. Now remember that while we get to the end. Canada, on the other hand, has good, decent players, but has a great coach with a winning mentality, an absolute winning mentality. He demands excellence. Remember in the last game against Uruguay? I heard Johnny Herdman shout from the sidelines to the players and the squad, do not drop your standards. Now that's when you're losing 2-0. When you're losing 2-0, don't drop your standards. That's the level that we've come to, and that's the level that we're going to stay at. So at the end of this, you're going to ask yourself, who really does have the best coach? Is it Canada with Johnny Herdman? Or is it England with Gareth Southgate? Let's take a look at Gareth Southgate. Have a look at these. They're going to interest you, and it's all factual. Enjoy this. Back in 12 seconds. Now let's take a look at Gareth Southgate, the England coach. Going back in history, a long time ago, he was the player that missed a penalty at the 1996 Euros, which put England out of the final. They were in the semi-final, lost to Germany on penalty kicks. Now, recent Euro final, England-Italy goes to penalty kicks. He's the coach. Coaches normally breed winning mentalities. Well, he's got a losing mentality, in my opinion, and he doesn't breed a winning mentality at all. He's not a winner. And what happened in the final against Italy? They have a penalty shootout right at the end of it. And who loses? England. And who's the coach? Southgate. You need a winning coach, a winning mentality to win games. And coming from the past, it's coming to bite him in the ass. Because you know what? When you're a winner, you're always a winner. And England need a winning coach, in my opinion. And I'll stand to that. I absolutely will stand to that. Take a look at this. If you want to see the final shootout from the Euros, take a look at this. Here's the names. Here's who failed. And again, Southgate is the coach. It's up to him to make England a winning team. They're not. Now, talking about the stats and Gareth Southgate's stats, as a coach and as a manager, we'll get there shortly. But the deal is this. He was too young when he came into a Premier League team. He was a coach at the Premier League club at 36. That's not normal for a Premier League coach to be that young. There are a few that are that age, but mostly there are elder guys, maybe 40s, 50s, some in their 60s, but 36, a Premier League team. Depends who the Premier League team is. A big team doesn't do that. A small team does. Middlesbrough were his first major team. Now, Middlesbrough, he played for Middlesbrough between 2001 2006. He had a decent career. But when it came to captaining the team and managing a team, it's a total different world. So he manages Middlesbrough for 3 years. Now get this, 3 years, I'm going to show you his stats and everything, you'll get it in a minute, but 3 years of coaching. He got him into the 2005-2006 UEFA Cup final. They lost 4-0. 4-0 to Sevilla in the final. A year before that, they won the League Cup final, beating Bolton 2-1. But they got to that final, that UEFA final, big final, lose 4-0 to Sevilla from Spain, España. And going back in time, or going forward in time, I should say. No, going back in time, yes. The penalty shootout, he loses that. Going forward in time, 2020 Euro final, his team loses that on penalties. So there's a losing track record with this guy. And if the FA doesn't open their eyes, England has no chance at winning this World Cup in 2022. I will lay money on that. I'll take a $100 bet off an England fan right now. And if I'm wrong, I'll pay you double. And if you're wrong, you only need to pay me the $100. But I will bet $100 to any England fan right now that England will not win the World Cup through their mentality. They've got great players. They've definitely got decent players. No doubt about it. But, let me think. They've won nothing. Even great Harry Kane, the striker, won nothing. So they're not a team of winners. Their coach is not a winner. They're not breeding that winning mentality. Moving forward, 3 years he's at Middlesbrough. 2006-2007 in the Premier League. They finished 12th with 12 wins. It's not very good. It's not bad. It's not very good. A year later, 2008, they finished 13th, gone down a place, and they only win 10 games. 1 year later, 2008-2009, they finished 19th with 7 wins. Relegated. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Looking at the recent Euros, Euro 2020s, and the Nations League, take a look at the Nations League final table for England, because England got relegated. England got relegated from League A to League B. Take a look at these stats. Not really the greatest, eh? Not really the greatest at all. I mean, you've been in with Middlesbrough 3 years, you get them relegated, you lose a big final, and then after that, you quit. 4 years later, he gets hired as the England under-21 boss. Now, that's the team below the full national team. How does he get that job? How does he get that job? What is it that the FA see in him to get that under-21 job? Never mind the full national team, but what is it that they hired him for? That's what still is scratching my brain, because I don't see him as a quality coach. I see him as a quality talker and a quality dresser, but not a quality coach and not a quality winner. So what did they see in him? Why did they hire him? I have no clue. There's far better coaches out there. There were far better coaches at the time, but I think he's a bit of a yes man. And I think the FA like people who behave and do as the FA wants and exactly what they want. If you go back in time, managers that were a little bit pushy, bullshy, single-minded, a bit strong-minded, the FA didn't want you. The FA didn't like you. Brian Clough, way back in the day, the greatest manager England never had. He didn't get the job because of attitude. So, you got to say, how did he get that job at the U21s? His record for the U21s, by the way, 37 games, 27 by win, 5 draws, 5 losses for 73%. You look at the 73%, you think, yeah, that's great. No, not really. When you look at the talent on that team and who they played, it should have been a complete perfect record, never mind 5 draws, 5 losses. But you got to say 2016, 27th of September to be exact, in 2016, the England team hire him. His present record, 77 games, 46 wins, 17 draws, and 13 losses. 17 draws, 13 losses. 13 losses in 4 years. 6 years. It's not the greatest. They're not winning anything. And again, I say, how did he even get the job? There's much better coaches that could have taken the full national team. His actual percentage is 60.5% with the national team. That is satisfactory. That is just satisfactory. That's not a winner. It's definitely not a loser per se, but that's not a winning record. That's satisfactory. You just passed the test. Yeah, you go to school, 60%, you just passed the test. Satisfactory means it's okay. It's not good. It's not very good. It's not excellent. It's definitely not an A grade. So look at that. Now, the failure in the Nations League as well. You saw the pictures just gone through. Can't get out of the Nations League. Didn't even win a game. They played Germany, Italy, and Hungary. Didn't even win a game. 3 draws, 3 losses. Bang, mama, you are out. And they were also relegated to League B. England's never been relegated. They have been now. Southgate's the guy that got it done. So the more I heap this negativity on Gareth Southgate, the more you'll realise where this is going and how lucky we are that we have Johnny Herdman as a national team coach of Canada. I ask you this, when the World Cup's said and done, irrelevant if Canada doesn't make it out of the group, and irrelevant if England only makes it to the quarterfinals, I'd say to you, who has the best coach? Because in my opinion, Johnny Herdman is by far the best coach in this equation, in this answer and question phase. And I want your opinion down below, guys. You have to admit, we do have something special in Canada, and England should have fired Southgate 5 years ago. They need a winning coach, and it's not necessarily an English guy that they need. But here's the question for you. A lot of eyes are on Johnny Herdman right now, especially from England. And Johnny Herdman's English. And let's just say, play devil's advocate here. Let's just say England get out the group and Canada get out the group. And through some freaky results and some upset results in the World Cup, we actually get alongside each other in the further we go. But we don't play each other because that's not going to come down to that. But we go as far as each other. Just imagine if we made it to the round of 16 and England gets knocked out in the round of 16. Who do you think is going to come knocking on Johnny Herdman's door? He's been a success in England. He's been a success in New Zealand. He's a 2-time success in Canada. He's done something no Canadian's ever done for 36 years as a coach. Who do you think is going to come knocking on Johnny Herdman's door? Because I fully expect the English team to look, or the FA specifically, to look at Johnny Herdman and say, you know, if he keeps going on this winning record, we've got to take him on. He knows international soccer. Johnny Herdman's never coached at the league level. He's only international. There's a different style of play at the international level. It's not club soccer. I think Johnny Herdman is the genius where international soccer comes. He makes a couple of mistakes once in a while with the tactics, but who doesn't? Because when the other team makes a change, you've got to make a change. It just matters how quickly he can see the other team change before he makes the counter. And that's what we're talking about with Johnny and his tactics. It's the speed up of the counter. But on the benefit of keeping this guy till the next World Cup, I say we need to pay him everything we can, and we need to keep this going because he's technically directed this team in the right direction. He's got them going on the field, and off the field we're looking great as well. But at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself this one question: does Canada have a better coach than England? I'm not going to tell you exactly what I'm feeling, but I think you know what I'm saying. But down below, guys, does Canada have a better coach than England? That's the question. What's going to happen after the World Cup? Who's going to come knocking on our door? How hard is it going to be for us to keep Johnny Herdman at the helm? It's not just money. This is destiny. And I would say, my own opinion, with what Johnny Herdman's building for Team Canada, I don't expect him to leave anytime soon. You know why? Because he loves what he's building, and it's his baby. And Canada loves him, he loves Canada, the squad love him, he loves the squad. It's a total positive. Why would you want to throw that away just for a handful of shekels and a new team? I'll leave it up to you guys. There's some insights for you, there's some praise. Don't forget one thing, the next show coming, Canada's secret World Cup weapon. It's the next show. You don't want to miss that one. And the World Cup song, push it around, guys. I need your help.
Johnny Herdman is a man, a superman with the plan. He got his two guitar. Our team has come so very
I am asking every Canadian on this show, pass that song to every mate you know in Canada. And the next show, Canada's secret weapon, going to the World Cup. Don't miss that. Don't miss any of the shows moving forward. They're all heavy World Cup flamed. They're all heavy World Cup directed. And that's all we're doing from now to the World Cup. Get ready. And sign up for this show. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share it. Like it. Please like it. We need the likes, guys. We need the likes. But at the end of the day, ask yourself that question. Does Canada have a better coach than England? Cheers, guys. Have a great day.
Come so very far. Our team has come so far. Qatar. So come on, you're my